Hello, and welcome to this episode of Neighbors Cooking. I am your chef and host, Mitch, and welcome back to my kitchens. It is sizzling hot here in Palm Springs, let me tell you. 105 degrees all of a sudden, and the heat is unbearable. So the last thing we want to do is heat up our kitchens and just continue the heat into the evening when we're trying to cool down. So we are doing tonight a butter garlic shrimp with a lime slaw that is so simple and so easy. You're just going to love it. So we're going to go right into what the recipe is, and we're going to start with what the slaw is. This is so simple. Like I said, it's going to take just a few minutes. So you're going to go to your grocery store. You're going to pick up your coleslaw, just a packaged coleslaw. You could also be super intense and take your own cabbage, red cabbage, and white, yellow, and green cabbage, and carrots. But some of these prepackaged things are okay. So you're going to take your cabbage, put it in, and then inside of here, we're going to be putting a few simple ingredients. We've got 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise, 2 tablespoons of a cider vinegar, 2 tablespoons of honey. I use a nice, clean, pure honey, and about a half teaspoon of salt. And we're going to mix all of this together into our bowl. Let me move this over so we make sure you can all see. We'll move this all into our bowl, start to mix. This is not meant to be a creamy kind of coleslaw that's like thick and cream. This is supposed to be a mild, nice, sweet slaw. This is the cider vinegar, the honey, yum, and the salt. These are the 4 simple ingredients that we're putting into... that we're putting into this slaw that just drove the sign guy crazy, I know. You're going to just mix all of this together, and then you're just going to let it set for a couple of minutes while we start to make the main ingredient, which is our shrimp. So I'm going to heat up my stove here for just a sec, real quick, my pan. There we go. You start getting that one. And we're going to bring in the ingredients that are the main piece of tonight's dish. Now, the cool thing is, Joe, who's our camera guy, brought in some tomatoes that he grew in his garden. Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
So have you tried these? Did anyone die yet, or are they good?
They're good.
So the cool thing about living here is we've got all these amazing gardens and people growing things. And I have friends constantly bringing me over fresh vegetables and cilantro and whatever they're growing in their yards. Here in my backyard, I've got lime trees and lemon trees. So we've got some fresh limes that we did today. And everything here is just a super, super fresh ingredient, including the cilantro. So we're going to break that off. Now, put these out of my way. So I'm going to put our cilantro off to the side here because that's going on top of our tacos also. We've got some shrimp. I took about a pound of shrimp, and I've taken the tails off. So take your tails off and then rinse them in cool water, and they'll be fine. We're going to put on top of this shrimp, before we put it into our pan, we're just going to sprinkle it with a little bit of salt. We'll save about the rest of the salt for the dish. Have about a teaspoon and a half of salt, teaspoon and a half of pepper. We've got some smoked paprika, about a half a tablespoon, 3 tablespoons of garlic, and 4 tablespoons of butter. And then we're going to use the lime, 1 or 2 of these, and we'll use the extra lime to put it right on top of the taco as garnish with the cilantro. So let's start by getting our butter melted into our pan here. Probably a little too hot. Don't want to burn the butter. So let's start that off to the side. Don't let your butter burn. Brown butter is only good in certain things, and this is not one of them. Yes, it's a lot of butter, but our calories on this aren't going to be that bad. They're going to be about 400 calories per taco, maybe a little bit less, probably a little bit less. So get your butter melted. This is an unsalted butter. And if you don't know the difference between an unsalted butter or a salted butter, or why you use either one, an unsalted butter you use in recipes that you add salt into. So if you're going to add salt into something, you can do an unsalted butter. Otherwise, you're just increasing the amount of salt intake. So we've got our shrimp, we've got our butter. We're going to put these in. And remember, when I've cooked shrimp in the past, you put them in a clock foundation clockwise around, and that way you know which ones to start turning and in which order you put them in. If you just throw them in the pan, you have no idea which ones are cooked. And remember, shrimp are only going to take a couple of minutes to cook. You don't want to overcook shrimp. They will be too spongy. You just want to give them a couple of minutes in this delicious butter sauce. And while those are cooking, I've got 2 more shrimp I didn't take the tails off of, so let's take the tails off of those. Just pinch and pull. You could leave the tails on, but then the taco doesn't work, right? Then somebody's trying to get around the tails. So in this recipe, you definitely need to take those off. Put that off to our side here. We're also going to add on top of this our salt and our pepper. I'm just going to mix it together and put it in my hand. Over the top. Garlic and butter and salt and pepper. I'm then going to take my garlic and I'm going to put that over the top. There we go, juice it all. And the last piece we're going to add, I need a towel. The last piece we're going to add is our smoked paprika. And we're going to put that right over the top, just like that. There we go. So now when we turn these over, we're going to take all of those nice peppers and salts and paprika, and when we turn it over, it's going to bake into that side, so it's going to be delicious. So while those are cooking, we're going to cut up some of these tomatoes that Joe gave us. It's not on the recipe that I posted, but Joe gave us this nice gift, so we're going to incorporate it and use it. How long have you been growing your fruit, your vegetables for, Joe?
Couple months.
All right. We're just going to cut these up into little slices, simple, because we're just going to throw them on top of the tacos with the cilantro and the slaw. That would be delicious. These are nice and firm. So if you don't grow gardens in your home, I know it's a lot of work, and you have to find what really is easy for you. I see people all the time, and they will plant these amazing gardens, but then they don't take care of them. So grow what you know you can grow. It's simple, it's easy. Tomatoes take a little bit of work, but they're pretty easy. Rosemary, all of the herbs, oregano, those are all easy things to grow. You probably aren't growing a lemon tree in your backyard or a lime tree, but you could. So we had a catastrophe here. I normally post my blog on Mondays, the kitchen catastrophes, and I didn't post it this Monday. And it's because I had my own kitchen catastrophe in here. I had my sink fail, all the water ran all over my floor, there was water everywhere. It was Mother's Day, and could you get a plumber? Not at all. And so I posted on Facebook that I was struggling finding a plumber, and then my friend, Jeff Howe, he reached out to me and said, Mitch, I'm on my way over, and he came over and he replaced the faucet for me. He stopped the leak, but I'm still going through remuneration. So it looks like everything's okay, but behind my cabinet, not so well. But we're going to get them fixed, and I'm just thankful for all of my community that stepped up to help me. So thank you guys so much. So let's turn these shrimp over. They're starting to get nice and pink on one side, a little bit of a char. And remember, we put them in this way, so we're going to turn them this way, clockwise. And that way we get an even look all the way around. Now tonight I have some guests here. I've got Jacqueline James. Hello, Jacqueline.
Hello.
And I've got Randy again, who comes to almost every show. So hello, Randy. Put your hearing aid up. There you go. He put his finger up. He didn't want to put his wine glass down. So we've got the slaw going. We're going to bring back over our...
I'm here. I was supposed to be here last week, and then out this week, and I'm not. But
Sonny is our new team member. Sonny is running all of our sound for us and making our show better. He'll be doing promotional shots for us. And he was supposed to be on the show last week, and he missed an amazing meal. But he also had a flood at his place, right? So it was kind of like, I don't know why I got the flood experience after him. So we're going to chop up some of this cilantro. There we go. Everyone likes some cilantro. There we go. So we've got cilantro. We've got our tomatoes. And we're going to take our limes, and I need a little bit of my lime juice that I'm going to put inside of this coleslaw real quick. There we go. And then I'm going to use a couple of limes, wedges, just for our look. And I think, unrehearsed, but Jacqueline, I'm going to ask you to be my taste tester for this. All right. Take those sunglasses off and give me a couple minutes and we'll get you on. So Jacqueline is an amazing restaurant person. She was well, come on in, Jacqueline. You can talk to me for a second. I know you're not mic'd up, so Sonny's going, get closer to the mic. But you were the catering or the manager of restaurants for Disney.
Yes.
All of the Disney restaurants.
Yeah, I was the director of all full-service restaurants.
So how many was that?
I think there were 37 restaurants.
37 restaurants. So this is like nothing, right? Every day. So here's our shrimp. They're looking beautiful. Let's look at those things. All right. So those are done. We're going to turn them off and we're going to start to assemble. So again, I am not Mission Tortilla, Miss Mission Tortilla. You want to go out and buy tortillas, you can. Just make them fresh. This is a simple meal. I'm going to reach over here and get a bowl.
The middle is one.
And we are going to start to assemble. So we're going to put our tortilla in. We're going to take some of our slaw that we made. One more good mix. And the reason you did this first, and you want to you're letting the vinegar and the mayonnaise and all the cabbage come together. And it should be absolutely delicious. So here we go. All right. I'm going to put that there for right now. We'll be a little bit, put some of the slaw in the middle. There we go. Put some of our tomatoes. And we're going to bring some of our shrimp over and put some shrimp in it. There we go. Yum. One more. And then we are going to take some of our tomato. We already put tomatoes. We'll put our cilantro right on top. And Jacqueline.
Oh, Lord. God likes sandwiches.
I am going to let you take the first bite, if I can wrap it up. There we go. There we go. And you can look at that camera right there and take your bite.
Oh, thank you. Oh, it's wonderful. It smells amazing. I was worried it would get
crunchy, fresh.
It is wonderful.
Yeah?
The cilantro, the tomatoes are nice and fresh, the lime juice, everything.
Super.
It's just as tender.
So there you go. You can take that back out with you.
Thank you.
How easy was that? So this is a recipe you can make in 20 minutes in your house. We probably just did it under 20 minutes, and it is delicious. So we are done for the night. As always, I want to ask you to follow us on our YouTube, subscribe, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, share us with the rest of the foodie community, and thank you for coming into our kitchens and letting me share my experiences with you. And next time, we have an amazing show coming up. We've got the owners of a real estate company coming in from Rancho Mirage, and I'm going to share some promos later. But they just sold the largest real estate transaction in Rancho Mirage history. And it is quite the estate. So we're going to share that next week. Can't wait to see you. Thank you for coming into our kitchens. And until next week, I'll see you then. Have a great week. And remember, there's always a place for you in our kitchens. Bye.